Happy Friday everyone, and here it is, the 6th of December, and it's a lovely sunny day here in the northeast part of the UK. It's only about 6 or 7 degrees temperature, but the sun is shining brightly. So the 6th goes up, and today out of my little box I've chosen to do the turtle dove, and I think it's super lovely. So where shall I hang her? I think I'm going to hang her quite high up, so I'm going to get the ladders. I think right up here, that's where she's going to go. There we are. I'll zoom you in for a close-up. Oh, lovely number 6. There she is, looking super pretty. So here I am with my cup of tea for another morning mantelpiece chat, and all my plans went awry yesterday, and really was nobody's fault, but just I got sidetracked on stuff that was interesting, but I just didn't get done what I thought I'd get done. Anyway, I didn't end up filming phonology reel stuff, which is what I thought I was going to do. I filmed about my blankets and the stair carpet, so expect to see that coming up in the Advent diary. And today, as far as I've planned out, I'm going to film you an introduction to next year's project. Exciting. And I have agonised over this quite a bit, because I had 2 different ideas that I was really excited about, and for one thing and another just couldn't go forward because I couldn't access or find a way of doing the things that I wanted to do. And after being initially downhearted about it, I just changed track and do something else instead. So I hope you look forward to that, because I think that'll be coming on Sunday, but I am just filming it this afternoon. So other than that, I am not leaving the house at all, other than to get my phonology photograph this morning, which will be a bit of an easy one because it's blue skies all round. And thanks for all the lovely comments about the stumpwork Christmas roses. I really enjoyed doing them, and I really hope that you'll enjoy doing them too. It's only that tiny step forward with the wires, that's all it is. Other than that, it's just normal embroidery. You'll enjoy it, I know you will. Just have a cup of tea. You might wonder why I've got no more decorations up, because I know most people will have decorated their houses and they have it all super sparkly and super pretty. I just don't do that very early. I love to put my decorations up, I really do. I love my tree, I love to decorate the house for Christmas. I don't want it to hang on for too long, and so normally I put my decorations up just the weekend before Christmas, other than the Advent Garland, which obviously goes up on the 1st. And if the weekend before Christmas is very near, like it is this year, then I do it the weekend before that. So I usually have my decorations up at the most about a week and a half before Christmas, and then they come down before 12th night. So I don't have them up very long, but it makes it more exciting when they go up, I think. So I'm not sure what I'm doing this year, because I'd have been putting my tree up while I'm in Paris, and so it's either wait till I come back, which will be very near indeed and I might find super stressful, or put it up before I go, and that means I don't have very long to do it. So I don't know yet at the moment what I'll do, but my tree is still just sitting outside in the yard waiting to come into the house, and because I've got an open fire, the longer I leave it outside, the more likely it is to stay nice for the whole of Christmas and New Year. So that's another reason why I don't decorate it too early. So I have a real tree, I have it in water so it keeps its needles for as long as possible, and I bring it in as late as possible while still enjoying having the decorations up. See you tomorrow, everyone, and I hope you enjoy today's offering in the Advent Diary. Well, I'm back in the kitchen with you today. So I've got my pinny on again, and I've got a really good Christmas present recipe, and that is my homemade stem ginger in syrup. And I've had requests for this last year, but I'd only make it when I can get the ginger quite cheaply, and then I make it as presents sometimes, or I just stock up. And this is one I made actually 2 years ago now, and I'm just about to open that jar to use. So first of all, you need stem ginger. So I keep mine in the freezer, so you can see that one's been getting grated. So you can grate ginger direct from the freezer. You don't even have to take the skin off. It will freeze successfully and grate successfully. So that's what I do, because I use quite a bit of ginger in my cooking. But for this recipe, for the preserved stem ginger, it's definitely good to freeze it first. If you can freeze it overnight, it helps to break down the fibres in the roots, and then that makes it more tender when you've cooked it. Once you've done that, you'll find that it's quite easy to peel. So I've just got a normal potato peeler, and you'll see that it just peels really easily with the peeler. And you don't really have to peel in among the nubbles, because you just cut them off as you go until you've got nice peeled ginger. And it actually cuts quite easily, but you keep your fingers out the way because you will need a bit of force. But actually you can just get through it. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but it does get through. So once you've got your ginger peeled and cut into chunks, you need to put it in a pan. I've got chunks there that are about an inch. Maybe you could do them less if you wanted. You put them in a pan, cover them with cold water, bring them up to the simmer. You need to simmer them till they're tender. And I can't reiterate enough how you need to simmer them till they're tender before you add any sugar. Once you've added the sugar, they will not get any more tender. So you need to make sure that they're fully cooked first. These came up to the boil last night, and I simmered them for going on for 2 hours on a low heat until I could get my skewer or my knife into them easily. This is what it looks like once it's been simmered. It was a couple of hours in the pan. So this is the next day, and I'm just going to drain the juice, because I want the juice that they've cooked in, and I want my ginger to be separate. So I'm just going to put them in there. I'm just going to keep using this pan. I just put that on a little bowl so that I'm not going to make a mess. And I'm keeping the juice. It was around about 400 grams of ginger. That probably means you want about 350 to 400 litres of juice and the same amount of sugar. So in my jug I actually have 200. So I'm going to make that up with another 100 millilitres of water. So I've got 300 mils of juice. So I've made that up. If you've used a big pan, you've ended up with a lot of juice. Definitely you just need what you need, otherwise you'll just be using too much sugar for the amount of ginger that you're going to preserve. So I'm going to put that 350 odd mils of gingery water back in my pan, and to that I'm going to add the same amount of granulated sugar. So in that goes. And I'm going to take this onto the hob, and I'm going to heat it slowly until the sugar is all melted before I bring it up to the boil. I'm just going to stir this while it comes up to the boil. I definitely want it to be melted before it starts boiling. Look, that's just a bit of skin that I mustn't have got off the ginger. I'm not really bothered, but I'll take it out. I've got another Christmas cake curling at the moment. I always do my normal one, and then I have a practice one where I try a new recipe every year. And this is the recipe that I'm trying is called 3-ingredient Christmas cake. And yeah, I don't know yet because it's still hot. It's just come out of the oven. I'll let you know what it's like. This has now come to a full boil, I'm turning the temperature down, and I'm just going to keep this going for about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes till it starts to thicken up into a proper syrup. At the moment it's still too watery. You need to keep an eye on it or else it can boil over. So temperature down. If it starts to come up the pan, take the pan off or stir it down. Well, my syrup's been simmering away for about 10 minutes and it still looks watery to you probably on camera, but I can feel the syrup is thickened, and I know that'll be thicker once it's cold. So at this stage I'm going to add all of my ginger back into the syrup. Just carefully, I don't want to splash myself. Plus any juice that's come out while they've been draining. And now these can simmer in the syrup for about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then the whole thing will go straight into the hot jars. Now I've got the jars heating in my oven. They've already been sterilised and I'm keeping them hot. But I'll just bring that back up to the simmer. It's just starting to come to the simmer again. Right, I'm going to turn that down like that, and I'm going to keep it like that for about the next 15-20 minutes. And I'll just stir it every so often. This has been on for almost 20 minutes and I think it's ready. You can sort of see that the ginger starts to look a bit translucent, and that's a sign that the sugar is getting into the plant itself and that it's ready. So all I need to do now is pot it into my hot jars. So the easiest way to do it really is just to lift the ginger out with a slotted spoon and just hold my jar with a tea towel because they're hot from the oven. And pack as much ginger in your jars as you can. Now I've only sterilised 2 jars because I think that's the amount of ginger I've got. I do like to use smallish jars. In fact, I could have used smaller ones, but I just didn't have any more left. But you want to really package it in small jars if you can. So when your jars are filled, you just go and pour the ginger syrup until it covers them. And just cover the ginger right up to the top. Just going to make sure that is down in the syrup. The syrup has to cover the ginger entirely. It just needs to pack them down a bit more. And as soon as your ginger is covered, you can put your lids on and process them if you want to process them. I don't normally, because I just hot jar, hot lids, and make sure they're tight and they will vacuum seal. But you definitely could process these back in the pan or in the oven actually. And that is it. So I've got my 2 jars of stem ginger there. They're really hot. I'm just going to leave them there. And it is quite easy to cook. It just takes a bit of time. But the only other thing to say is that the first time I ever made this, I thought it had come out wrong, because when I opened it, maybe a few days later, the ginger was still quite harsh, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's not really worked. But the jars just went back in the pantry and I just left it. And maybe about 3 months later, maybe a bit longer, I thought, I can't just waste this, I'll have to use it. And it was totally different. It just needs time to mellow down. So it's sort of a bit late for making it for Christmas and then somebody using it straight away. But I think if you make it for Christmas and give it as a Christmas present, you can always put a little label on that says ready by sort of February or something like that, and it'll be just worth waiting that extra few weeks so that the ginger can mellow in the syrup, and it just is lovely. I use it in cakes, I use it in curries. If you have any syrup left over, don't throw that out. It's got lots of good stuff in it, and if there's, there's been no syrup left over for me today. I've just had the right amount. But if there was any left, I'd have just been putting it in a little saucer or a jar. You can dilute that down. You can put it in a curry. You can add it to a cake mixture. It's usable. It's not waste. So now I've got 2 jars that just need labelling up, and I can give them as presents. So thanks for watching. I hope you might go on to make that. I hope you like, subscribe, watch another video. I think I'm saying this every day now, but it's the way you're supposed to end your video. So I'll just carry on, and I'll see you tomorrow with another, whatever it is I've got scheduled, which I have no idea at this moment. So thanks again everyone, and I hope you're enjoying this Advent.